All right, big news coming in this evening as the pricing of natural gas, that formula has been changed. The recommendations of the Kirit Parikh Committee on gas pricing have been approved, and that announcement was actually made by Union Minister Anurag Thakur a short while ago after the cabinet meeting ended. Now, this is important because it will lower gas prices significantly. A ceiling and a floor price has been fixed for natural gas prices, which lowers it from the current $8.57 per MMBTU to $6.5 per unit. The Minister Anurag Thakur said this will give significant relief to gas consumers. Listen in.
जो निर्धारित हमने किया है कि एक फ्लोर प्राइस गैस का जो गैस प्राइस का है, एक फ्लोर और सीलिंग ये दोनों ही तय होंगी। फ्लोर को $4 रखा गया है और सीलिंग को $6.5 रखा गया है। इससे उपभोक्ता भी बचे रहेंगे और हमारी इंडस्ट्री भी बची रहेगी। अगर बहुत कम हो जाता है तो भी इंडस्ट्री को नुकसान होता है, ज़्यादा बढ़ जाता है तो उपभोक्ताओं को इसका नुकसान होता है, तो इसे दोनों की रक्षा की जाएगी। सीलिंग को पहले 2 वर्षों के लिए रखा गया है और ये प्राइस जैसे मैंने कहा प्रति माह घोषित हम लोग करेंगे। और इसमें हमारा प्रयास ये भी है कि डोमेस्टिक गैस प्रोडक्शन बढ़े, तो उस दिशा में भी पॉलिसी में 20% प्रीमियम उनको अतिरिक्त उत्पादन पर मिलेगा।
All right, I'm speaking now with Kirit Parikh, chairman of IRADE, and of course the man who's helmed this new formula that has been now accepted by the government. Mr. Parikh, thank you so much for speaking with us exclusively here on ET Now on a very, very important day. Your opening comments on why these recommendations were important and the impact this will have on natural gas pricing and that policy in the country.
I think one should understand that this pricing applies to administered price gas, that is the gas that is produced by ONGC and OIL. And earlier formula about a year ago gave them a price of about $1.79 per million BTU, which was even less than the marginal cost of production of ONGC and OIL. And therefore, I think it was important to raise the floor price to a level where these public sector corporations at least cover their marginal cost and the associated expenditure with it. So that's why it was set at $4. The setting for upper ceiling has 2 real reasons for it. One is that, we are trying to promote gas in certain preferred uses, like piped natural gas for households and compressed natural gas for vehicles, transport vehicles. And the reason for promoting this is piped natural gas provides a clean cooking fuel, and indoor air pollution can lead to serious damage, lung disease and eye infection for women, and also many premature deaths. So the government's policy is to provide clean cooking fuel for women all over the country. Now, PNG, the piped natural gas, will go largely to urban areas, but it will free up the LPG, the liquefied petroleum gas cylinders, which we are currently using in many places, would be freed up, and that would be available to rural areas for providing clean cooking fuel. So I think the whole direction is to have a clean cooking fuel available.
Absolutely.
Now, what one has to also recognize is that the PNG price, the piped natural gas price, should be such that people would prefer to have piped natural gas rather than an alternative, which is liquefied petroleum gas. And similarly, the CNG users, that is transport vehicles. And the reason why we are promoting transport vehicle CNG is that it reduces urban air pollution significantly. And urban, even with a Bharat standard emission control vehicle, BS6 vehicle, it will emit more particulates and CO2 than a CNG vehicle.
Absolutely.
And therefore, we should promote CNG vehicles. These are the two reasons. Now, the upper ceiling is kept in such a way that the price will be competitive for both CNG vehicles and as well as for PNG users. And that is how the whole formula has been set.
Mr. Parikh, I wanted to come to, what has been happening in the last, I would say, several months to gas prices while these formulas have been worked upon. You talked about a price of 1.7 odd dollars per unit, which was below the cost of producing. Today, gas prices are close to $8.50 per unit and could possibly go even higher. And your ceiling will actually give relief at $6.50. But my question specifically is on linking this to crude prices. When they seem so unstable right now, we don't know which direction crude is going to and how high it's going to climb, looking at what's happening geopolitically. Is that a concern? And do you think that this ceiling of 6.5 will hold steady?
Yeah, I think the ceiling is kept so that we are not sure where the price of crude will go. But the purpose for linking it to crude oil price is precisely to make sure that that the gas price remains below the LPG and diesel prices, so that the users that we want to promote will find it competitive and preferable to use piped natural gas and compressed natural gas. Now, earlier, what was happening, the price was set, while the situation was that in 2014, a committee had set up and that recommended that gas price, APM gas price, should be determined based on the average producer price in 4 different countries, 4 different places in the world: America, Canada, Europe, and Russia. But, in some sense, producer price and cost of production may differ from field to field. And there was not much, it didn't make much sense to link India's producer price to foreign producer prices. Secondly, from an economic efficiency point of view, the price of imported gas should be equal to the sale price of imported gas to the sale price of domestic. In the market price should be equalized and not the producer price. So our suggestion was to really link it to petroleum products to keep it competitive with this competing users, and at the same time, that it's an upper bound. So even if the price goes up, gas price would not go up. And I think even if the prices come down dramatically internationally, then the floor price would apply. And even if the gas prices come dramatically, let's say it becomes $2 an MMBTU in Henry Hub port in United States, by the time that gas is liquefied and it's put in a vehicle and in a ship, and the ship
Recording
comes here,
stopped.
it's regasified and so on, its cost would be more than $6.50. So that's why I think we have no fear that this imported gas price would be less than $6.50, and therefore that is the price that we have set.
So to understand this clearly, your fear is that gas prices will trend lower rather than higher, and that is why the floor is more crucial than the ceiling?
No, I think we do not know which way the gas price is going to move. But the gas price, even if it is higher, then we are certainly we will not now linking ourselves to gas price. We will be, the question of comparing with gas prices, that people might say, suppose you are making the gas price to $6.50 and the imported gas can be brought in at $4, which I don't believe it can be. It will be at least $6.50. Then consumers, instead of buying gas from the domestic supplier, would prefer imported gas, and we have to avoid that. And that's why I think this pricing formula is set at that level.
I want to come to one specific part of the announcement as well, Mr. Parikh, which is that
Yeah.
the ceiling of 6.5 will be increased by $0.25 per unit after 2 years of implementation of this new formula. Now, this seems to be a slight departure from your recommendations, which was at $0.50 increase. Could you, give your thoughts on this? And are you happy with this $0.25 per unit increase, which has been put in after a 2-year cap?
No, I think in a sense that makes sense. In the following sense, the government wants to be cautious. It wants to watch how things are moving and then change it. And changing every year $0.50 might have given some concerns to domestic city gas distribution companies and others. Rather, this way, at least that they will be assured that no, this price is going to remain like this for 2 years, and then we will see what to do with it. And of course, things are changing so rapidly that one might want to keep some flexibility in one's hands.
Just a final comment, Mr. Parikh, on what this changes for gas pricing in India from the consumption point of view, from the consumer's point of view, as well as the producer's point of view. Do you think it has been fair to both sides?
Yeah, I think so. I actually, this was our major concern, that to be fair to both producers and consumers. While we said if road price gives producer a fair, at least covers their marginal cost of production, and the upper ceiling would certainly make sure that the consumers get the price, gas at a price which is competitive with alternatives that they have. So if you're using an LPG cylinders and you change to PNG, you will find your bill goes down, and that will continue to remain like that. And I think the one of the important point here to note is that the CNG and PNG prices have to be competitive with this. Otherwise, people will move away from that. And $6.50, as I'm saying, is imported price is not likely to be less than that, and that this is certainly assure this. Now, currently, the price is around $6.8 or something, and people are paying fairly high price. I think they will find that the new formula will reduce the PNG price for domestic users, as well as CNG price for transport vehicles.
Okay, that relief will come in fairly quickly, and that's important. That's going to be a significant relief at this juncture. But of course, this policy is to stabilize pricing at a time when there's so much uncertainty around the world. Thank you so much, Mr. Kirit Parikh, for joining us. That was Mr. Kirit Parikh.
My pleasure.